I'm gonna be real. I don't know. I don't have the other like Trove content creators' usernames memorized off the top of my head. And there's nothing to collab about when it comes to Trove. The only difference would be, oh, we're all in the mic call together while we're doing ships. Hey guys, you not bored yet? Like, I don't know. I feel like there's not enough to like riff off of each other when it comes to like Trove content. At least in terms of a collab. But that's also because I've been playing this game for way too long, so. What are you drinking? Lizard blood. Sorry, reptilian blood. Which is actually very close in its subsistity to Belle Dauphine bathwater. Will you ever introduce Warframe to the channel? You mean, will I ever start playing Warframe again? Because I already have like hundreds of Warframe videos? No. My main issue, like, obviously repetitive content is like fine with me, but with Trove, it kind of like tricks my brain enough that I at least feel like, oh, I'm exploring new worlds and there's forward momentum, you know? Basically big open world, like massive random generated like dungeons and stuff, even if it's technically all the same crap. Whereas a game like Warframe, it's like, oh, here I am leveling up a character, here I am formatting them again, here I am going to the same wave defense because it's the most efficient for grinding, which might have changed, but I will say, like, I enjoyed the first open world area in Warframe. Was pretty cool. I got bored as soon as I unlocked Eidolons because I hate that you had to fight them in a very specific way without any, and I was also a melee main, yes. So it was impossible for me to kill an Eidolon. And I liked Fortuna a lot, but I also think that the game is very messy with how it structures its open world stuff. Because Warframe devs are kind of psychopaths. For me, the grind in Warframe, I just don't really find that fun. As opposed to Troves. There's few games that have like this type of a similar grind. I guess I would say it's kind of like, it's a different genre, but the closest to Trove's grind I would say that I enjoy is like a survive game, like Vampire Survivors type of thing. The most recent one I covered was Soulstone Survivors, and like I had to stop myself from playing it because otherwise I could have just kept playing it. I felt the same way in First Descendants. Bro, I'm okay. I'm trying to turn my language around and be more accepting of like people enjoying and whatever they enjoy. First Descendant sucks. It's just typical Nexon slop where they just copied Warframe, but it's not even as good as Warframe. Hey, free to play is free to play, but I'm not gonna act like it was a good game. It was just the same old monetized crap Nexon always poops out. To be fair, they're really good with their free to play games. They're at least like high quality. But yeah, I'm sorry. If someone's favorite game is First Descendant, I'm sorry. You don't have good taste in games. Says the guy playing the block game for like 10 plus years. So take that as you will. Yeah, for me, First Descendant, when I played the beta, I saw the cash shop and I just immediately lost interest. Lost Ark was a similar one where me and my buddy played the beta, and then as soon as I saw like the cash shop stuff and how the game was structured around the monetization, it was like, nope. Trove, for everything that it doesn't do right, it does do a lot of things right. I'm not saying that the cash shop is done right, but arguably it's, you know, there's aspects of the cash shop that actually aren't that bad in Trove, at least in terms of like the pay to skip progression rather than like, you can still do things completely free. Kind of stuck. I think you meant to say you're kind of sick, in which case put a mask on. Oh, sorry, that's his name is kind of stuck. Oh, okay. Probably pronounced like Kandas Tuk. The thing is, okay, it's very rare for me to come across a game where I end up making my gameplay or character optimal and then I keep playing. Because in a lot of respects, that's kind of like the main goal for me. And then once I've achieved it, it's like, okay, I'm done. That's what happened with Warframe and Destiny. Trove is one of the few games where I'm maxed out, basically, and still just keep playing anyway. Ever tried Guild Wars 2? Yep, I did. I don't know why I just can't get into that game. It's another one like Elder Scrolls Online. Like, there's just something about it that just is like not fun. I think another big thing for me is like in terms of games that I play a lot is also the style, you know? Like the artistic direction. Trove not only is voxel, but it's also like very colorful and not hyper realistic. Warframe, I'm gonna be real, I hate their style. Like that whole like drab color palette, and all the characters are like made of skin, but the game was actually made on like Unreal Engine 4, so it kind of looks like crap. Or Unreal Engine 2, I mean. Whatever engine it was one of them from a long time ago. Destiny's got a cool style, but I'm also not really into the whole like futuristic Daft Punk thing. And my only point that I'm getting at is style can go a long way to keeping me invested in a game on top of the game loop. That's why Elder Scrolls and Guild Wars just never click with me, is because like Elder Scrolls especially has no style. It is generic. Like you describe an MMO to somebody and they'll think of ESO, and that's literally like the palette. It looks like crap. Like some of the world looks interesting, but the character models are just so generic. All the abilities are just like, oh, you just unlocked a new ability with the warrior. You can uppercut with your sword. It's like, really? I don't like throw fire at them or something cool, you know? The coolest thing is the get over here chain, and that's about it. Guild Wars has arguably more style than Elder Scrolls Online, but it's still not really like a style I enjoy. Not that, again, that's not necessarily the reason I couldn't get into it. I just couldn't get into it. I don't know why. I just didn't find it fun. Maybe the movement wasn't that good, which is weird because I loved Guild Wars 1. I played the hell out of that back in the day. It's like I always say, if World of Warcraft had an action combat system that played more like Trove, that would be my favorite game. Because it's got a really solid game loop, and you're just grinding things for like hundreds of hours, and it's like, hell yeah. But subscription model, blah, tab targeting, blah. But the style of the game is fantastic. All the armor looking cool and everything too. Like, I always hear good things about Final Fantasy XIV, but again, it's kind of ugly. I'm not saying anything about the graphical quality. I'm just saying in terms of its style, it's kind of just generic fantasy. Taking in comparison a game like Overwatch, that game's got like, it oozes style in terms of its art direction. I just want, bro, since Hytale's dead, just give me that Riot Games League of Legends MMO with Elder Scrolls Online. Like, it seems like it'd be a game that I would really enjoy because it's basically just Skyrim, but an MMO. Like, it's actually really good. Just for whatever reason, I can't get invested. Maybe it's more than just a lack of style. Maybe it's got to do with the way that you control your character and the immersion that's brought with that. Maybe that's why I can't get into those other games. Because in those games, I feel like I'm watching my character, whereas like in a game like Trove, I'm playing this character. Like I'm playing Quake. Here's every other MMO when you press the space bar. That's it. Except your camera wouldn't even move, because your character isn't actually moving up and down in the physical plane. That's why you usually can't jump over things in other MMOs. It's just a jump animation. And then people wonder why the servers were having such a hard time calculating things, because there's a vertical in Trove. Beyond that, I just love the fact that the game just moved into movement speed being the late game build stuff. Like, come on, man. New World. Yeah, New World was probably the most recent, like, actually really good MMOs. The only problem with New World is that eventually the game ends. It did not do a good job with an infinite game loop. But that's fine, you know. It takes hundreds of hours to just play through the game in the first place, and that, oh. Oh, New World was so good. Those devs are apparently working on the next, their next project's a Lord of the Rings MMO, and I'm so there for that. Imagine if New World had Trove Endgame, where it's just grinding infinite things. Yes, please. I mean, arguably you could do that. The thing, my problem with New World was that a lot of the end game threw you into the raids and dungeons. And the issue is, I don't really play MMOs properly anymore. Trove has spoiled me, where I typically like play it alone or with like a couple of my friends rather than reaching out and trying to join groups. And not to mention, like, the thing is, I don't like the amount of time that you have to waste getting groups. You know what I mean? And then, oh, look, all of the aspects of the game that require a group, delves and ships and stuff. And it's like, unless there's already a group established that just pulls me in, I'm not looking for it. I'm not going to waste my time. I know that's the wrong way to play, but especially when an MMO is like reliant on a matchmaking system and it can just take so long. And then the problem too is the content is so hard in most other games like New World, where you have to have an optimal group. But I can't get stronger until I can do the dungeon. But nobody wants to party with me because my character's not strong enough. And it's like, no, I know the Time-gate is actually insane. Like it is, oh, it is so brutal. It's so weird too, because you can get through the majority of Trove's content free to play pretty dang quickly if you like are just gunning it. But then you'll suddenly just hit a wall. And arguably, a lot of people will just quit at that wall because that's the point where the game wants you to spend money.